I like whatever Mataji is saying, so it's very understandable, Mataji.
Yes. Nisha Mataji. Shatabdi Mataji, you want to say something?
माता जी ये मेरी फास्ट सेशन है.
Sorry?
ये मेरी फास्ट मैंने अटेंड किया है.
Okay. Shika, Sujata Mataji, Shatabdi Mataji, you want to say something?
Mataji is saying very clearly, so my baby also listening very carefully, and she kicks when I listen this.
Wonderful. Hare Krishna, Kumda Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Sujata Mataji, you want to share something?
Yeah, ma'am. I attended only 2 classes of English, and another 2 classes English.
No. Kumda Mataji, we are just discussing, Neha Mataji, Hare Krishna. So we are just discussing like, we have done so far 8 sessions, right? So, like what we like about the sessions, or what is the takeaway, or what you are all following or thinking of following.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, sorry, my mother tongue is Kannada, Mataji. Clearly, clearly I'm not talking about Mataji English.
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
Mataji.
No,
But
no
I
worries.
understand every class I understand, Mataji.
Wonderful.
And I
wonderful.
followed Mataji, and I followed also. And last 2 years back, I am reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam class, all attended Mataji, some classes. Means
Wonderful.
regular classes, Mataji. Shlokas also, so much of shlokas I know. I reading Mataji, and I know Mataji.
Very nice.
Sorry, Mataji.
No worries. No worries, Mataji. It's just, I was waiting
Because
for
Kannada full I'm telling, but English problem. I
Okay,
understand, but talking
Yes.
is problem. Mataji.
No worries, Mataji. It's wonderful.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
माता जी, आप सारे माता जी के लेक्चर बहुत यूजफुल है. फर्स्ट टाइम ऐसा प्रैक्टिकली कोई प्रेगनेंसी में इतना हेल्प कर रहा है माता जी. थैंक यू सो मच इसके लिए पहले तो, क्योंकि नॉर्मली प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन को सब एडवाइस ही देते रहते हैं, ये मत खाओ, वो मत खाओ, रेस्ट करो, मतलब, लेकिन कोई इतना स्पिरिचुअली क्या हमारे बच्चों के लिए एडवांटेज है, हमारे लिए अच्छा है, वो किसी ने नहीं बताया माता जी. सो थैंक यू सो मच माता जी. एंड सॉरी कल मैं एब्सेंट थी लेक्चर में.
No, you can subscribe, Mataji. This ICF Prabhuji had shared in the group, right? So
Yes.
you will get all the lectures in YouTube.
यस माता जी, डेफिनेटली.
Thank you so much.
थैंक यू माता जी.
So it's already 8:10, so I think we can start the session. We'll start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You can all unmute and chant with me. It's a good vibration for the child. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam
Kadamahyam dadati
Padantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta
Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti
Swami
namine
Namaste Saraswati Deve
Devi
Gauravani
Gauravani
Prachari
Prachatine
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi
Shunyamadi
Pashat Deshatarine
Shatharine
Jai
Jai
Shri Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Shri
Shri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara
Gadadhara
Srivasadi
Srivasadi
Gaura
Gaura
Bhaktavrinda
Bhaktavrinda
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
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 Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama Rama
Rama
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Everyone together. Can we all chant together loudly for the souls like who are all very blessed because they are all hearing Krishna Katha when they are in the womb, right? So let's pray for all of the children. So please unmute yourselves and then we will chant one time loudly for the babies. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
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 Rama,
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
welcome all of
Hare
you.
Rama.
Hare Krishna. So, just a quick recap. So far, what we have done. So these are the some pastimes I have put here for all the childhood pastimes of the Lord. So first we discussed about the stages of pregnancy, right? Like in first month, what happens, fourth month, what happens, seventh month, what happens, right? And then now we are seeing the prayers of the Lord, prayers of the soul inside the womb. Right? First, yesterday, see, this is how the Lord gives darshan to the baby in the womb. So now he will have the darshan because he is Paramatma, right? He'll be inside the womb also. So he gives darshan, and the soul, the baby inside, will be able to see the Lord in the sense like he can connect with the Paramatma inside, and he starts worshipping because as we have discussed previously that the soul, the jiva undergoes a lot of suffering inside the mother's womb, right? Because of mother's eating, because of the place and everything, he suffers greatly. Then those lucky souls, like all of your children, they are able to understand the Lord. They are able to remember the Lord. That's why, because it's not very easy, right? There is a saying also in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that it is very, very rare to get a human birth, and with that human birth, to understand that the Lord is there, that Krishna is the supreme, that itself is a great thing. And rarest of that rare is like those who worships, who start doing devotional service, and in that also there is only few person can go till the end, right? Because it's a rarest thing, everyone cannot follow it, but the children and all of you are very, very lucky. You got, as Sugna Vrinda Mataji yesterday mentioned, right? You are all very lucky. The babies inside are very, very lucky. They have done a lot of pious things in their previous births. That's why they are able to hear Krishna Katha. even when they are in the womb of all of you, because we know what happens, right, with Parikshit Maharaj, with Prahlad Maharaj. When they hear, they become wonderful, wonderful devotees, right? So they are already wonderful devotees. It's just we are helping them. That's it. We are just helping them in growing in their Krishna consciousness. So we have been discussing about these things, right? And today we will be discussing about the Lord's energies. Can you see my screen? This Vedavis?
Yes, Mataji.
So
I
anyone
can see the slide.
you can see the slide.
Yes, we can see the slides only. Yeah,
Now?
now only we got.
Yes. So who wants to repeat after me?
Yes, Mataji, I do.
Yen maya yoru guna karma nibandhanesmin
Yenmayane
guna
Uruguna Karma Nibandhaneshu
samsarike paticharam stad abhishramena
Sancharike Patisharam Abhishamena
nashta smriti punarayam pravarnita lokam
Nasta Smriti Punarayam Prabhavi Lokam Yuktakayam
yuktya kaya mahat anugraham antarena.
Yukta Kaya Mahat Anugraham Antarena.
Thank you, Dhanlakshmi. Who wants to read the translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, ma'am.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The human soul, further praised, the living entity is put under the influence of material nature and continues a hard struggle for existence on the path of repeated birth and death. This conditional life is due to his forgetfulness of his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, without the Lord's mercy, how can he again engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord? Purport. The Mayavadi philosopher says that simply by cultivation of knowledge by mental speculation, one can be liberated from the condition of material bondage. But here it is said one is liberated not by knowledge but by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. The knowledge the conditioned soul gains by mental speculation, however powerful it may be, is always too imperfect to approach the absolute truth. It is said that without the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot understand him or his actual form, quality, and name. Those who are not devotional service go on speculating for many, many thousands of years, but they are still unable to understand the nature of the absolute truth.
Thank you, Kumada Mataji. Anyone
Okay,
else
Mataji.
want to
Thank you.
continue? Thank you, Mataji. Who wants to
Mataji, there's more to read.
Yes.
The which paragraph? One can
Yeah,
be
one can
liberated.
be liberated.
Okay, I can read it.
Yeah.
One can be liberated in the knowledge of the absolute truth simply by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is clearly said herein that our memory is lost because we are now covered by his material energy. Arguments may be put forward as to why we have been put under the influence of this material energy by the supreme will of the Lord. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says, I am sitting in everyone's heart, and due to me, one is forgetful or one is alive in knowledge. The forgetfulness of the conditioned soul is also due to the direction of the Supreme Lord. A living entity misuses his little independence when he wants to lord it over material nature. This misuse of independence, which is called Maya, is always available. Otherwise, there would be no independence. Independence implies that one can use it properly or improperly. It is not static, it is dynamic. Therefore, misuse of independence is the cause of being influenced by Maya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The next, who wants to read?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes. Neha. Maya is so strong. You have to speak. Neha Mataji, we can't hear you.
Yes, Mataji. Maya is so strong that the Lord says that it is very difficult to surmount her influence, but one can do very easily if he surrenders unto me. Mam iva ye prapadyante. Anyone who surrenders unto him can overcome the influence of the stringent law of material nature. It is clearly said here that a living entity is put under the influence of Maya by his will. And if anyone, 1 second, if anyone want to get out of his entanglement, this can be made possible simply by his mercy. Sorry, Mataji.
No problem, Mataji. Please attend her. Yeah. Anyone else? Thank you, Neha Mataji. The last paragraph.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Pushpa Mataji.
The activities of the conditioned soul under the influence of material nature are explained here. Every conditioned soul is engaged in different type of work under the influence of material nature. We can see in the material world that the conditioned soul act so powerfully that he is playing wonderfully in creating the so-called advancement of material civilization, the civilization for senses gratification. But actually his position is to know that he is an internal servant of the Supreme Lord. When he is actually in perfect knowledge, he know that the Lord is the supreme worshipful object, and that the living entity is his eternal servant. Without this knowledge, he engages in material activities. That is called ignorance. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Pushpa Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So here in this shloka, the soul inside the womb prays that. So I have been taking again and again this birth because of my ignorance. Because of this, I want to. He thinks that he himself is the Lord, right? So the person becomes so envious. So this thing of I and my. So all of us take birth only because of that reason, right? And the living. So this condition life. How can we change this condition life, right? So we always have to be in this, then we don't know, right? As I first mentioned that getting a human birth is very, very, very rarest of the rare, because there are 8,400,000 species, right? Among that, being a human, it's like human beings is like only one species, where why only in human beings we can do this realization. Self-realization happens only in human beings. Why? Because we only have the sixth sense to think. Otherwise, this we are having the same, we are doing the same four things what the animals, birds, and other living entities do, right? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These four things are common in any species, right? Be it a bird, be it an animal, be it an insect, whatever we say, it's common in all the species. So what is the difference that we have? The difference we have is we can think. So what we should think? If we think like, who am I, like why I'm given this birth, like to whom I should worship, all these question arises, right? That is the knowledge, that is the first step towards spiritual realization. So when we get this realization, then we are into the right path, right? So otherwise, many of us, like there are a lot of other people also who say there is nothing like the next birth, or there is nothing called heaven or hell. So enjoy to the maximum, and you are your own boss, right? Like it's your life, you decide what you want to do, everything is for your enjoyment. So that is illusion. So here the Jiva says that that happens when we are forgetful of the Lord. And when we establish this relationship, how we establish our relationship? By first we think like, who are we? Oh, why did I take birth? What happens when I take birth? So when we have these questions, whom should I worship? So when we read scriptures, we get answers for this. That is establishing our relationship. So here we can think that, okay, it's my choice that I am doing this. But the Jiva here prays that even that thinking also comes from the Lord, because Lord in Bhagavad Gita says that Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta mata smritirjnanam apohanam cha vedeshu sarveshu aham vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedya vedanta vedavit cha eva chaham. So what he says is that everything happens is that the remembrance of the Lord or forgetfulness of the Lord is given by Lord himself. So then the question arises, right? So why the Lord should do this? Why the Lord should give forgetfulness of himself, right? So the Lord is a loving father. So he does not want anyone to force it. Like we are those cranky babies who wants like, no, I want to go to this material world. I want to be like you. I want to be a king there. Like I want also to enjoy like how you are enjoying here. So the Lord gives us independence. Okay, go, but come back. So that's why the Lord also come back with different incarnations to take us back by his beautiful leelas and everything. But again, the question will come, right? Like, okay, so why, to whom the Lord will give remembrance, to whom the Lord will give this forgetfulness, right? So to whom the Lord will give independence? To those who are good. Like we also reward, right? Everyone is rewarded by their good conduct, good behavior, good skills, right? So at office also we get rewards based on those things, right? Likewise, the Lord also, because of our good behavior, good thing, he gives us the remembrance that, oh, you are not this body, you are soul, you belong to me, please come back. So that remembrance, that forgetfulness, everything is given by the Lord. So here, yeah. So then, so when we get that knowledge, is that we will get the Lord? So here the Jiva says that knowledge only is not enough. Getting this knowledge is not enough to go back home, back to Godhead, or to get Lord's mercy. That is, to get into the Lord's spiritual world, it's not that easy. Getting knowledge is okay, because what happens is when I think I have knowledge, I'll try to do everything on my own, right? I will think that, okay, I know this, I can do it myself. So when I think that I can do it myself, what happens is that we will fall somewhere, we can make mistakes, we can there will be a lot of disturbances in the path, right? That might, many things can happen when we try to do it on ourselves. But on the other hand, when we have Lord's mercy, what happens is that everything will fall into the place. We will be just an instrument in the Lord's hand. Like how it is possible? When we do bhakti. So when we do devotional service, like devotional service again, then we may think like what we have to do. Like it's simple process. Like Sugna Vrinda Mataji yesterday explained it. Offer something to the Lord, like the fruits you buy, offer it to the Lord. You offer milk to the Lord, you offer something rice and curd to Lord, and then take it, offer tender coconut to the Lord, offer flowers to the Lord, offer incense sticks to the Lord, like light a diya to the Lord, and read a shloka to the Lord, right? And you, if you sit and read the shlokas, right, the Lord will be more pleased. If you sing a bhajan before the Lord, Lord is not like sitting like a judge or something who will see like, oh, what is my voice, like how you are singing, is the meter right, is the raga right? No, Lord does not see all these things. Lord just see our intention, right? So here when our intention is to please the Lord, then the Lord shows us the mercy, and then we get that remembrance to know everything. And when we get the remembrance of the Lord, all the knowledge what we have told before, right, by achieving different kinds of knowledge, it is easily achieved by remembering the Lord, because the Lord is the one who gives all the remembrance, and he is the one who even gives knowledge to Brahma, right? In Vedanta Sutra and Bhagavatam first shloka, it is said that Thene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kave. So it is he who imparted this Vedic knowledge to Lord Brahma, and from there it had come here, right? So he is the one who has given. So if we do simple devotional service, we can say that it's very simple. We think that, oh, like we have to do a lot of things, but it is very simple, right? Even these simple things pleases the Lord a lot, actually. If we see who are the pure devotees of the Lord, the gopis of Vrindavan, right? He's pleased with the gopis of Vrindavan. Why? Because of the simplicity of the heart. Because the gopis of Vrindavan are ready to do anything for the sake of the Lord. Like when they are churning the butter, they think about the Lord. Even while they are hiding butter away from Krishna, for that also they remember the Lord only, right? So all these things they do only to please the Lord. So pleasing the Lord through devotional service helps us that Lord will always be with us, and he gives us this knowledge, and it is easy for us to remember him. Okay? So in this, I'll just want to tell you a small story. Actually, it's a big story, but I just make it short because I think all of you know the story. Right? We all know who is this, right? So here we discussed about Lord and his energies. So here we could see here, right? Because I just wanted to tell this story because how remembrance through knowledge and remembrance, the mercy of the Lord will help, right? This is the shloka we have seen, how the soul prays. So I just want to get into the story of Bharat Maharaj. We all know who's Bharat Maharaj, right? So we got this Bharat name through Bharat Maharaj, and he is the son of Rishabdev, who is a great king. So this Rishabdev, while handing over the, Rishabdev had 100 sons, and Bharat Maharaj is the first one. And Bharat Maharaj is a very nice, wonderful, and a very great devotee also. So he was ruling the kingdom according to all the rules and everything, right? And then what happened is that after a few years, he found that this ruling of kingdom is not helping him in his self-realization. So he just left his kingdom. Just like that, he left his kingdom. His sons are also great people. So he just left them in one day, and then he went to a forest to do this dhyana, to do meditation, and then achieve the Lord, right? So he was doing it very sincerely. He was meditating on the Lord. So his meditation was so severe, and it was very good meditation. I'll not say that he was deviated or not, but he was like, his focus was on the Supreme Lord only. So until one day, what happened is that he was doing meditation, and at that time he heard a sound outside his cave. So he heard that one lion or a tiger was chasing, and it caught hold of a deer which was pregnant, right? So, and the deer was, the mother deer passed away, but because of the fear of the tiger, it delivered a baby deer. So, and then the deer, mother deer passed away, and this baby deer was left alone there. And the tiger also went, because that's a good thing with the animals, right? It will hunt only for its need, not for its greed. Like it will not think that, okay, I'll store it for future and all. They won't do that. It was satisfied with that prey, and then it went. And this deer, Bharat Maharaj, because his heart became so compassionate because of bhakti, he just took the deer and he started developing, or he started protecting the deer, because he thought that, oh, its mother also there is no one to take care of this deer, so let me take care of it. So slowly, what happened is that he forgot that he had come here leaving his entire kingdom. Like those days, kingdom is not like only India. So he was the ruler of the entire universe here. So this earth planet. So this Bharat Varsha, he just left like anything and came to forest to realize God. But what happened is, on seeing the deer, because of his so much of meditation, his heart became so compassionate, and he turned that compassion towards deer. So naturally, he ran after him. And if the deer goes outside and didn't come back, he will not do his meditation. He'll be thinking like whether oh, the deer is caught by lion or tiger, or whether it will reach safely, or like he has all those feelings, right? Like mothers, right? Generally mothers also have this, right? At 3:30 bus time, 2:30 bus time, or 2:20, what will happen? 12:30, did my son have my lunch or not, have his lunch or not? Like, and don't worry, this will not go even if they go to college or work or anywhere. Like even when we become very old also, we'll be thinking about them. So it's the same. So he was also thinking about the deer, and then he forgot for the purpose he has come. And then what happened? He became, his time for leaving the body came, and then he was, even at that time, his mind was thinking about deer. What will happen to the deer now if I go? So thinking of the deer, he left his body. So then what did, Krishna says, like at the time of death, what you are thinking, you'll be like that in the next birth, right? Antakale chamam evan swaran mukta kaleva. So if you think of a deer, you will become a deer in the next birth. If we think of a table or chair or house, then we will become that. If we think of some relative, we'll be born in their house. So it's like what we think at the time of death, will become like that. So now Bharat Maharaj has become this deer. But because he had done tapasya for quite some time, so what happened is that now he remembered that, oh, I have done this mistake in my previous birth. So now I should not make this birth. So what he did, instead of grazing around here and there in the forest, he was next to some yogis who are doing some sacrifices, so that he'll be always thinking about Lord. So then in this condition, after growing up, he left his body and then he became a human being. Like you can see this person here with white dhoti, right? So he becomes Jarabharat. So this Jarabharat understood. Now he remembers his past life, because we read in the previous shlokas, right? The soul remembers like so many 100 births. Now this Jarabharat, because of Lord's mercy and because of his lot of tapasya, and because his father is also a great soul, they are all coming from Manu's dynasty. So he remembers that I should not now get into any kind of attachment. So I'll not even speak to anyone. So he will be like deaf and dumb. He will be like very this thing. And then the story goes on like that. And he, at this stage, he practices bhakti, and then he goes back home, back to Godhead. Right? So here in this story, we saw that. So in this story, we saw how Bharat Maharaj, because of his knowledge, because he wanted to do it by himself, right? So when he wanted to realize God because of by his own endeavor, he was not able to achieve it. But when he started in the deer body or in the body of Jarabharat, he understood that only the Lord can save him. So he kept all his energy to remember Lord. So because of that remembrance, he was able to get delivered. This is what the shloka is implying, right? So remembrance and forgetfulness, both are given by the Lord himself, right? Forgetfulness first, when he thinks that he can do it, and remembrance when he surrendered to the Lord, like, no, this will not work for me. Right? Understood? Is the shloka clear? We'll go to the next shloka. Ashwin, can you close this door?
Mataji, I have a question on the shloka.
Yes. Yes.
Is it that every living entity, when they're in the womb, they do get this remembrance for a period of time and then they get forgetfulness when they come out? Or
So yeah, so this is a wonderful question. Yeah, in the previous 2-3 shlokas, if we see those before this prayers, it is said that those souls who are lucky enough, those who are have that this thing, they can only remember the Lord. I think so. It comes in. So it comes in this chapter only in one of the previous shlokas. So if we go to shloka number, yeah, if you go to shloka number 9, so you can see here, right? The child thus remains just like a bird in a cage without freedom of movement. At that time, if the child is fortunate, he can remember all the troubles of his past 100 births. And he grieves wretchedly, right? So if the child is fortunate, so you people don't have to worry. They're all very, very fortunate because they are hearing. They don't even, it's like they not only remember, but they are like devotees. So they can, they are hearing Bhagavatam directly, right? All these
thank you,
creatures
Mataji.
are just, yeah, it's serious. Like otherwise, these kind of sukritis will not come. Like they would have done lot of pious things in their previous births, and they would have been devotees in their previous births. So like that is a thing, right? Saying to become the parents of the Lord, you should have done a lot of things, right? It's not easy that everyone can become Yashoda or Kaushalya or Devaki, right? So it's given to certain people. Likewise, devotees also, it's not very easy to get a devotee child. So it's all your good deeds and it's all the children, like they have been great devotees in their previous birth. That's why they are able to remember the Lord. So we'll go
He
to
likes saying Hari Bol.
Hari, Hari, Hari Bol. All of us together. Yes. Hari, 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 Hari Bol.
Hari, Hari, Hari Bol.
Yes. Because they are like Prahlad Maharaj, right? So after taking birth, they'll all preach this Krishna consciousness throughout this universe and make everyone devotees. We are all eagerly waiting. Because Prahlad Maharaj started preaching at the age of 7. So he was teaching his fellow students. With, if all of you are okay, then after this chapter we can go to those things. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj stories. Who wants to recite this?
Mataji, can I?
Yes.
From the translation?
Shloka, you want to read?
Shloka. Okay, okay. Okay.
Jnanam yat etat adatat katamas devas.
Janam yad etad adadhat katama sadevas.
Traikalikam stiracharesh anuvartitamsa.
Traikalikam stira charishva anuvartitamscha.
Tam jiva karma padavim anuvartamanas.
Tam jiva karma padavam anuvartamanas.
तापत्रयोपशमनाय वयं भजेम.
तापत्रयोपशमनाय vayam bhajema.
Thank you, Shika Mataji. Wonderful reading. Yeah, you can read the translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. No one other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the localized Paramatma, the partial representation of the Lord, is directing all inanimate and animate objects. He is present in three phases of time: past, present, and future. Therefore, the conditioned soul is engaged in different activities by his direction. And in order to get free from the threefold miseries of this conditional life, we have to surrender unto him only. Can I read the purport?
Yeah, anyone else want to read? Otherwise, you can do. Anyone else? Those who have not read, you can read.
Okay, Mataji, I'll read.
Yeah.
When a conditioned soul is seriously anxious to get out of the influence of the material clutches, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated within him as Paramatma, gives him this knowledge: surrender unto me. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, give up all other engagements, just surrender unto me. It is to be accepted that the source of knowledge is the Supreme Person. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita.
Mata Smriti.
Mata Smriti Jananam Apohanam
Mata
cha.
Smriti Jnanam Apohanam cha.
Mata Smriti Jnanam Apohanam cha. The Lord says, taught me one gets real knowledge and memory, and one also forgets through me. To one who wants to be materially satisfied or who wants to lord it over material nature, the Lord gives the opportunity to forget his services and engage in the so-called happiness of material activities. Similarly, when one is frustrated in lording it over material nature and is very serious about getting cut off this material entanglement, the Lord from within gives him the knowledge that he has to surrender unto him. Then there is liberation. This knowledge cannot be imparted by anyone other than the Supreme Lord or his representative. In the
Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yes, ma'am. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya instructs Rupa Goswami that the living entities wander in life after life, undergoing the miserable conditions of material existence. But when one is very anxious to get free from the material entanglement, he gets entanglement through the spiritual master and Krishna. This means that Krishna as the super soul is seated within the heart of the living entity. And when the living entity is serious, the Lord directs him to take shelter of his representative, a bona fide spiritual master, directed from within, the guided externally by the spiritual master. One attains the path of Krishna consciousness, which is the way out of the material clutches. Therefore, there is no possibility of one's being situated in his own position unless he is blessed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless he is entangled with the supreme knowledge, one has to undergo the service penalties of the hard struggles for existence in the material nature. The spiritual master is therefore the mercy manifestation of the Supreme Person. The conditioned soul has to take direct instructions from the spiritual master, and thus he gradually became entangled to the path of Krishna consciousness. The seed of Krishna consciousness is sown within the heart of the conditioned soul. And when one hears instructions from the spiritual master, the seed fructifies and one's life is blessed.
Thank you so much, Dhanlakshmi. So here again, the soul is praying to the Supreme Lord that is in the previous shloka, he says that the Supreme Lord is the one who can give remembrance and forgetfulness, because now he is able to remember his past lives and he knows what are all the things he has undergone, right? So, and he understood that the birth he is taking is also because of some past activities or past karma that has been left. So he has to take birth again. So now he is praying again to the Paramatma who is situated that please give me direction, because you are the representation and you are the director of all things that is happening around. Because in this whole universe, Paramatma is there in everyone, right? Even if you say a mountain, a river, so everything, we can see Lord in everything, right? And Lord is in everyone's heart as Paramatma also. So, and the Lord knows everything, right? He knows the past, present, future, everything, because we forget everything. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna tells Arjuna, right? Arjuna, what you have also taken so many births. I also have taken so many births, but I remember everything because I am the Lord. But you cannot remember all your births because you are a conditioned soul. You are you are under the laws of this material world, but I am not into this material world, so I remember everything. So from this we can understand that, and the Lord does not only remember his whatever activities he had done in each incarnation, but he remembers each and every one of us. He remembers what we have done, some millions or lakhs of how I don't know, like how many births I have taken. So he remembers what all I have done in my previous things and what I'm going to do even now, right? In the future also, what is going to happen to me, what not he would know, right? So that's why he is Paramatma. He knows everything. So so the conditioned soul who are good, who remembers the Lord, who are the good souls, what they do, they do activities under his direction. Why? Because why they can do? Because in their heart, the heart is very clean. Like if you think it as a mirror, right? Heart as a mirror. So when you have so much of dust or dirt accumulated in the mirror, will we be able to see the mirror? No, right? So that can light penetrate into it? No, right? But if the mirror is clean, then the light can go through it. You can see your face, right? That's how, like we have done so much of lot of karmas, so we are not able to hear what is Lord saying. He gives direction to every soul, so the Lord is equal to everyone. Lord says samoham sarva bhuteshu, so I am equal to everyone, but how we are taking it, how we are behaving, right? So it is, sometimes it looks like the Lord will be, we can think that the Lord is partial towards the devotees, and he is very harsh towards atheists, or like he is not atheists, the demons and all, right? So why it is happening? Because the devotees are able to hear what is the Lord saying and they are able to take his direction. But The other way, they are not able to hear because there is a lot of pride, anger, envy, greed. Everything is like bags and bags of it is loaded in our hearts. So we are not able to hear the Lord. So what will make us hear the Lord is only by surrendering Him. This, the Jiva understands who is in our womb. He understood this. And he says that, like, whomever I worship, whatever I do, I cannot come because of my knowledge. I cannot come because of worshiping, except you. If I someone worship with my intelligence, I cannot come out of this conditioned life. So he says that I have to surrender only to you to come out of this conditioned life, because we are all like, if we think that because the child is in the womb, right, it is in a closed surface like a prison, if you consider it. And the inhabitant is also conditioned, right? He is a prisoner. How can he come out of the prison? Only through the person who is a king. He can order, right? Please take this person away from this place, right? So who can do this? All of us are binded. Like, I can't go and say that, okay, I will release you from this jail. Right? No, we can't have. Even if the police officer is also there, who is also taking care of this jail, he also cannot open the jail and say that, okay, go from this place. No, because the order should come from the government, from the king. The king should order, leave him, then only they can leave, right? So this, the Jiva has understood, which is in the womb of the mother. So he says that if I worship, if I surrender to you, if I chant your names, because chanting the Lord's name, chanting his glories will help the Jiva to come out of this bondage. So this is what the shloka is explaining. So here we can see that the conditioned soul is seriously anxious to get out of the influence of the material clutches, because since he was able to remember what all the undergoings he had gone through, so he now thinks that no, only Paramatma can save me. And he says that I will do, here the Jiva will pray. In the next few prayers we can see the prayer, he will pray that I'll do whatever to remember you. Once I come out, I'll only remember you. So we all used to pray this, like the Jiva prays that please accept me. I will not do the same mistake what I had done in the previous birth. So these all things the conditioned soul will pray inside the womb. And then he says, like, I will give up all other engagements, I will worship you, I'll surrender to you and all. So then here the Lord will give opportunity to such jivas to hear his names, to surrender to him. All these things the Lord will give only to those souls who are very serious, right? Even in these days also we can hear now those who get that life imprisonment, or like some hanging or anything, like the president has a right, okay, you can change from hanging to life imprisonment, or you can release him because of his good conduct. Like, all those things are there, right? So the Lord has that ability to take us. So, and then here we can understand. So, okay, in the previous shloka, we said that knowledge is not enough. Knowledge is not needed. Only devotional service is needed. Okay, then it becomes like fanaticism, right? What all we do, we think we are doing devotional service, right? It will become a fanaticism. So then how to do devotional service? Then we should have a person who knows about this. We have to take guidance from him. Generally, it is our spiritual master who tells us, right? We all come from a parampara. And in that parampara, we have to, because Krishna also said that evam parampara praptam. So we should come from a parampara, and from that parampara, we can hear from our seniors, and then we should follow what they say. And if we follow this, what happens is that we get the spiritual enlightenment. We will get the devotional service. We would start understanding who the Lord is and what is our duty. So once we get it, then we will not be entangled in this material world. That's what Prabhupada has beautifully given in this last statement, right? The seed of Krishna consciousness is sown within the heart of the conditioned soul. When one hears instruction from the spiritual master, the seed fructifies and one's life is blessed. So again, we can see that how all of your children, like all the child inside the womb is very, very blessed, because even when they are in the seed stage, like when they are just growing up, not even like, I don't know how many months all of your children are, like their heart is purified by this sweet words of the Lord, sweet words of the Jivas. So the Lord is hearing what we are doing, the Jiva is hearing. So the Paramatma inside, because they are very pure, they are very, very, now they are very sweet and pure, right? Like they don't have any material things inside in your womb now. So the Lord can give, now the Lord will give them the right guidance. So once they come out, they'll have a wonderful, wonderful future. Right? So I'll just share one small story, because everything I believe, like when we learn a philosophy with that, if we remember a story, it will be easy for us to remember that. See, we can see here, the Lord is present as Paramatma in all matter, animate, inanimate, proton, neutron, in everything the Lord is there. And here we can see in every soul, whether it's a tree, it's a bird, animal, human being, everyone, the Lord is there. And we can see here the Lord in his Vishwarupa form. So this is the form he showed to Arjuna in the battlefield, right? So this is the form he's showing. And in that, he will tell Arjuna that, see, I have already killed the Kauravas. So you just be an instrument in my hand. I have done all the work, right? Because it is destiny. He knows the past, he knows the present, and he knows the future also. So because of this, he is called Trikalagnya. He knows everything, what is going to happen, what is happening, and what had happened. So not only for himself, for everyone. That's why he is the Supreme Lord. So from him comes remembrance and forgetfulness. And this is a small story. I hope all of you know the story of Ajamala. So Ajamala was a simple Brahmin who was doing his regulative principles properly. But at one point when he was going to the forest to get that Arani woods to do some yajna, so he saw a woman and man in a wrong position. So what happened is that he started liking that woman, and then he lost all his Vedic values and all. He sent his parents and his beautiful wife out of the house, and he started living with her. And to make his living, he did a lot of bad activities, like just robbing from those who are going through the forest, stealing. Then being a Brahmana, he used to kill animals and eat. So he had done a lot of impious activities. So, but he has done till certain age, he had done very nice pious activities. He was taking care of his parents and his wife properly at that time. So because of that Sukriti, what happened? Some this Vedic rishis, they were passing. This was like when Ajamila was quite old and this lady was pregnant at that time. So this lady asked those rishis, like, can you bless our child? So then the rishis said, okay, you'll get a good child and all. They blessed her and said that, okay, fine, we'll keep the child's name as Narayana. Can we all repeat this name? Unmute and repeat. What is
Narayana. Narayana.
Narayan?
Narayan.
Yeah.
Narayan.
So, this child is named as Narayana, and he is the youngest of all his children. And one day, the time for him to leave his body came. So he has done so much of impious activities, right? So we all know who comes when we do a lot of impious activities. So those set of people came to drag him from this body and take him for punishment. But at that time, he remembered that his son is very young, and he started shouting in that grief that he is now, he knows that I'm going to leave, but what will happen to my son? So he started shouting Narayana, 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 and all. And then suddenly what happened is that the Vishnu Tutas came. So, and then they fought with the other people. And then this Vishnu Tuta said that he had chanted Lord's name, so you should not take him. But the other people were asking, right? Like, why? Because he has done so much of crime in his past, like, and he had not uttered the name because he wants to call the Lord. He wanted to call his son, but these Vishnu Tutas would say him that no, no, no. But whatever it is, the name is not different from the person. Whomever it is, if you call that name, the Lord will be there. So, and they just sent them away. And then this person just woke up. And then he understood that what he had done was wrong in the previous birth. Sorry, previous so many years he had done. And then he left his home and he went to Haridwar. And then he did penance for so many years. And then he remembered the Lord. He did a lot of devotional service over there, like doing meditation, remembering the Lord and offering some flowers and all. And then the Vaikuntha plane came and then he went. It's not that after this incident, immediately the Vaikuntha plane did not come. So he has to undergo the purificatory process. He has to do the devotional service. And once he had done this devotional service, he goes back. So what I wanted to say is here is that the Lord knows our past, present, and future, right? That's why he had sent that sages to keep the son's name as Narayana, because this person had done some austerity in the if we forget also, the Lord never leaves our hand. So he sends those Vedantists, and then because of that, he kept the name Narayana. And because the name he called, though he called his son, then he realized that I called only my son, but the Lord had sent the Vishnu Tutas. What happens if I call Lord himself, right? So only by remembering the Lord, only by remembering his name, his glories, his pastimes, because the Lord is not different from his name. That's why we have to always chant the glories of the Lord. Like we have to chant, because in Kali Yuga, the chanting of the holy name is the only solution for all the problems. Like if we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's our only solution. If we chant, we'll all get success in our lives. So, and this is the case when we don't have spiritual master. When we start doing things on our own, we get deviated, right? On the other hand, we have one person called Haridas Thakur. So he is one of a very dear devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So he was also doing this meditation. He was chanting. Basically, it happened just 500 years before. So this Haridas Thakur was born in a Muslim family, but he had attraction towards the holy name. He had attraction towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he followed this Hare Krishna, this thing. And he followed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he was chanting. So the Muslim rulers, they did not like him because he was like, being born in a Muslim family, how can he chant the Lord's name? How can he chant the Hindus thing, right? So they were very much irritated, and even the Hindus were irritated because how can a Muslim can chant our thing? So all of them were upset with him. So they all devised a plan that okay, so anyone will get attracted with a lady, right? So they used to send a prostitute to his house so that he will get deviated from his path. So all of them can, both Hindus and Muslims, they want to send him out of the village. So the lady used to come in the evening and then she used to knock his door. He's a great devotee. So he opens the door and then he sees this woman, and this woman first used to say that I'm helpless, I want to marry you and all. So he would say that, please wait, I have my chanting japa to be completed. So once I complete this, I'll call you. So you please wait here. So the lady would wait outside. He would be sitting before Tulsi Maharani and he would be chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Throughout the night, he'll be chanting. And he chants 192 rounds a day. That is like 192 into 100, like one round is like 108 beats. So you can multiply. So that many rounds he does a day. So he says that when my particular number of rounds is done, then I'll call you. So she was waiting. Then the day will come, she'll go away. And then evening again she'll come. He would tell the same reason. She would be waiting outside. He would be chanting. Then it will go. So it happened for so many days. And then what happened is this, his chanting was so sincere that this lady got transformed. And he just fell at his feet and then he worshipped him, saying that, please accept me as your disciple. So then Haridas Thakur accepted her as his disciple. And he told that, okay, fine, you stay in this place and you chant your rounds, and then saying that he leaves the place and goes to some other place. So why I wanted to say these two contrasting stories is that when we do a lot of religious practices, this Ajamila, he was doing all his religious duties properly over a period of time, right? But when a sensual scene he saw, he was not able to take it because his senses were not controlled. His surrender was not great to the Lord. He was doing it as a ritualistic thing. But here in Haridas Thakur's case, like we can see how he being surrendered to the Lord, he was able to control his senses. He was able to guide this lady also, right? So this is what the Jiva is praying here. That Jiva is praying here. So the Jiva is praying here that please, I just wanted to surrender only to you, because even in Ajamala's case, what happened, only after he chanted Narayana's name, he got delivered, right? Here also the Jiva is praying the same thing. Only if I worship you, I'll come out of this material world, right? Is this clear? Does anyone have any questions? So can we stop here? Shika Mataji, you have any question?
No, Mataji.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
this
you,
story.
everyone. So most likely coming Thursday will not have the session because it's a Narsama Chaturdasi. So we'll be having class next Friday one. We'll update in the group. And thank you very much for patiently listening me. And thank you for all the children in the womb who was also listening. They are the wonderful devotees of the Lord. My sincere prayers for all of them. So let's meet next week. Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Kodi Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And I beg forgiveness if I have spoken anything wrongly or out of context. So please forgive me. And if there is any feedback or anything that I have to change, you can let me know.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So I'll end the session here. Hare Krishna.